Hey, what is shaking? Time to shine today, Varsity Squad. Welcome to our podcast, episode number 32. Develop the art of the neutral stance. This is Scott Ferguson. Let's level up. Hey, time to shine, squad and Fergie fanatics. Scott Ferguson here. Hope everybody's having an outstanding day. I believe tomorrow's Valentine's Day 2020, and I have to go to the store to make sure that my lady is taken care of. But I want to get this podcast out to you real quick that a friend of mine were talking about being judgmental. And I found that, I'm a Christ follower, and I'm not ashamed to say that, but I found that some of the people that I serve with are pretty judgmental, and it's not a knock against them, but I'm finding it can be an issue as you move forward in life. People will judge everything about others, but they'll also judge themselves in pretty much the same harsh way. So what I'm going to ask you to do is develop the art of the neutral stance. Try to stay neutral in everything that you might have an opinion on before you speak it. I've been taught to become curious about situations instead of spouting off my opinions. Now, I'm not to say that I have not actually been pretty guilty about being opinionated in the past. Some things that I can't change my mind about, but I'm not even going to mention those. But I'm becoming much more cognizant and more present in understanding to not be judgmental in pretty much all situations. Judging others is kind of natural, but verbalizing it can lead to not so good circumstances, period. So you don't know what is going on in that person's life before you start to judge them. They might have lost a loved one. Their pet might have died. They might have had to just file bankruptcy, and the person might be in a upset situation, and here you are judging them when you meet them. Don't do that. Be curious. Keep the neutral stance. There's actors like Kevin Costner that had awesome movies like Field of Dreams and Dances with Wolves. Then he makes movies like Waterworld and other not so great movies. He was interviewed back in the 90s, and he just said, man, I'm living a life. I don't judge myself. I don't let what other people say about me really matter. He keeps the ultimate neutral stance, and now he's on one of my favorite shows, Yellowstone. If you haven't seen it, go to the Paramount Network and watch it. It's amazing. Life's just so much easier when you don't judge events that are happening to you. Remember, it's all part of this huge big picture process. All of us as human beings travel different paths to our ultimate destination, which is death. Wouldn't it be fun if we just face anything that's bad happening to us, any adversities, and just have that neutral stance instead of fighting the flow? Bruce Lee, I feel, kind of said it best. Be like water. Water's formless. You pour water in the cup, it becomes the cup. If there's ice cubes there, it flows around it. If there's rocks there, it flows around it. He locked a flow every single day, and he never was really that judgmental of a person, according to the stuff I read. But I have people in my life right now that are the same way. They are like water. Nothing, and I mean nothing, can baffle them. Period. And I find that such an amazing thing that they can do. And I want to mimic and mirror that. And I've gotten a lot better at doing that. And I'm very proud of myself. So I'm going to ask you again, develop the art of the neutral stance. Robin Sharma, who I always kind of come back to, he said in his book, Who Will Cry When You Die, if you've never visited the valleys, the view from the mountaintop is not as breathtaking. Think about that. If you've never been down, you don't know what it's like when you're at the top. So as you're making your journey, develop the neutral stance of anything that goes good or bad. develop the neutral stance of how you treat people, and you'll find that life is so much more fun. Because there's no failures in life, there's only results. Period. All right, so that's our knowledge nugget today. Guys and gals, let's develop the art of the neutral stance. I appreciate you listening. Tune in, as I have a lot of interviews being dropped here in the next week or so, and you're going to love them. So you're not just hearing my voice. But I appreciate all the good feedback, whether it's good or bad. If you have any comments, go to our Facebook group, facebook.com/time to shine today. Alrighty? So let's level up our health. Let's level up our wealth, because it's your time to shine. Level up. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Time to Shine Today. If you're a business owner or professional who would like to be interviewed on our podcast, please visit timetoshinetoday.com/guest. If you like this episode, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. There's a link in the show notes to our website. Also there, you will see our recommended resources. We hope you will help support our show by supporting them. If you like what you've been listening to, it'd be great if you could just give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe while you're at it. I'm your host, Scott Ferguson. Until next time, level up. It's your time to shine.